to week 59 of Scott's Weekend Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. This is part 2 of Scott's Weekend Sports this week. My dad is at work, so I'll be here all by myself today with our college football and NFL predictions. So without further ado, let's get right into those predictions right now. So first of all, Georgia Southern heading in to Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina to take on Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers. Number 2 ranked team in the nation, giving Clemson at home. Kelly Bryant's going to have a nice game. Georgia Southern's not that good. Give me Clemson at home to get a win over Georgia Southern on Saturday. Next up, Middle Tennessee heading in to Between the Hedges to take on number 3 Georgia. Give me Jake Fromm, DeAndre Swift to have a nice game. Give me Georgia big over Middle Tennessee this weekend. The Dogs will look impressive, and Georgia wins a game this weekend in Athens. Next up, number 5 Oklahoma heading in to Jake Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa to take on the Iowa State Cyclones, who upset Oklahoma last year. But I think Oklahoma's learned their lesson and not underestimating Iowa State. Give me Oklahoma to get some revenge and get a win in Ames, Iowa this weekend and pull off the upset and get a nice win over Iowa State on Saturday. Next up, Kent State, heading in to Happy Valley to take on, and Beaver Stadium to take on Penn State. Give me Trace McSorley and Penn State to bounce back. Another good win last week for Penn State. And I feel like they'll get another one this week. Give me Penn State at home to get a win over Kent State on Saturday. Next up, number 21 Miami heading in to Glass Bowl to take in Toledo to take on the Toledo Rockets coming in at 1-1. Give me the Canes on the road. I feel like their quarterback's going to do well this weekend, and I feel like Miami will find a way to get a win over Toledo on Saturday. So give me the Canes on the road to get a win over Toledo on Saturday. Next up, UC Davis heading in to take on number 9 Stanford. No Bryce Love in this game, but it's not going to matter. Give me number 9 Stanford at home to get another nice home win over UC Davis this weekend and improve to 3-0 on the year and maintain their dominance up top the Pac-12 this year. Give me Stanford over UC Davis on Saturday. Next up, Vanderbilt heading into Notre Dame Stadium to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Give me Brandon Wimbush and Notre Dame to get the win here over Vandy. I feel like Notre Dame's got the better team, and I feel like they will prove that in this game. Give me Vandy at home. Give me Notre Dame at home to defeat Vandy on Saturday and improve to 3-0 on the year and maybe move up in the standings a little bit next week. Next up, BYU heading in to Madison, Wisconsin and Camp Randall to take on number 6 ranked Wisconsin. Give me Jonathan Taylor and the Wisconsin Badgers to get a win here. Wisconsin hasn't played that much tough competition this year yet, but I feel like Wisconsin's going to prove to people that they can beat some good teams this year. So give me Wisconsin at home to defeat a okay BYU team this year and improve to 3-0 on the year. Next up, one of the best games of the weekend is number 12 LSU heads in to Jordan-Hare to take on number 7 Auburn. 3:30 on CBS. This is going to be a great game. I'll be watching this game very closely. Give me Auburn at home. I just feel like Auburn's got the better team than LSU does. But I wouldn't be shocked to see the Cookie Monster start off 3-0 with LSU this year. But give me Auburn to get a win over LSU this weekend and get Gus Malzahn 3-0 on the season. Next up, number 17 ranked Boise State heading in to Stillwater, Oklahoma to take on the number 24 ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Give me Oklahoma State to pull off a slight win at home. Even though a lot of people are picking Boise State this week, I'm picking with my heart here. Oklahoma State gets the win and keeps UCF as the clear favorites to get in out of the group of 5 to get into that New Year's Six Bowl. So give me Oklahoma State to pull off the upset over Boise State on Saturday. Next up, SMU heading into Michigan and Ann Arbor and the Big House to take on Michigan. Give me Shea Patterson and Michigan to get a win here. I feel like Jim Harbaugh needs to have a nice season if he wants to improve this team. So give me Michigan at home. With Jim Harbaugh's life on the line, I feel like Michigan will get a win here and improve to 2-1 on the season. So give me Michigan at home to defeat the Mustangs of SMU on Saturday. Next up, number 20, Oregon hosting San Jose State at Autzen Stadium. I'm going to take the Ducks at home in Eugene. I feel like the Ducks have had a very nice season. Justin Herbert looks very good. So I'm going to take the home Ducks to get a win over San Jose State this weekend at Autzen Stadium. So give me the home Oregon Ducks to get a win over San Jose State on Saturday in a good game. Next up, number 1, Alabama heading into Oxford, Mississippi to take on the Ole Miss Running Rebels. And I will be taking Alabama out on the road. Nick Saban does not lose to Ole Miss normally. So I'm going to take Alabama on the road to defeat Ole Miss, who has been a better team than I expected this year. But I'm going to take Alabama out on the road to defeat Ole Miss on Saturday in a good game. Next up, number 16, Mississippi State hosting Louisiana Monroe. I'm going to take Mississippi State in this game. The Cowboys have been looking very, very good this year. I'm going to take the Mississippi State Bulldogs to get a win over Louisiana Monroe. Nick Fitzgerald looked very good last week in this game against Northwestern. So I'm going to take Mississippi State on the road, at home actually, to get a win over Louisiana Monroe on Saturday and improve to 3-0 on the season. Next up, number 22 USC heading into Austin, Texas to take on Tom Herman and his Texas Longhorns. Give me JT Daniels and USC to get the win here. I feel like USC is the better team, and I feel like USC is going to find a way to get a win here against Texas. So give me the Trojans on the road to get a win in Austin on Saturday and improve to 2-1 on the season. Next up, number 10 Washington heading in to take on the Utah Utes. Give me Jake Browning and Myles Gaskin to get the win here for Washington. I feel like the Huskies have a good team this year, and I feel like they're going to prove that they are one of the front runners in the Pac-12. So give me Washington on the road to defeat Utah in Salt Lake City and get a win on Saturday in a very competitive game. I'll take Washington on the road in Utah to get a win. Next up, one of the most surprising teams of the season is number 23 Arizona State, coached by one of the better coaches in NFL history, Herm Edwards. Head into San Diego State, the Aztecs. I'm going to take Herm Edwards and Arizona State in a close game this week. I feel like Arizona State's a better team here, but I feel like coming off an emotional high, I feel like they're going to be a little bit sluggish and a little slow in this game, but I feel like their offense will do just enough in this game to pull it out. I like Arizona State close over San Diego State on Saturday. And the final game of the weekend, game of the week, College Game Day is going to be there tomorrow. Roman Reigns is your guest picker tomorrow morning on College Game Day as number 4 Ohio State heads in to Arlington, Texas and AT&T Stadium to take on the TCU Horned Frogs. Give me Ohio State on the road in Arlington to get a win. I think the Buckeyes have a good season this year. They get their head coach Urban Meyer back next week, and I feel like Ohio State's going to get a win here over TCU on Saturday in a good game on Saturday. And that game will be on at 8 p.m. on ABC tomorrow night. On Saturday night, yes. And now into the NFL predictions for the weekend. The first game out will be the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, heading into Tampa to take on Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. I just don't feel like Fitzpatrick's going to do what he did last week against the Saints again. This Eagles defense is too good, too powerful, too strong. And I feel like the Eagles will get a close win out this weekend, but I would not be shocked to see the Fitzpatrick do it again. But give me the Eagles on the road to defeat the Bucs on Sunday in a good, close game on Sunday afternoon. Next up, an NFC South battle as Cam Newton and his Carolina Panthers head in to Mercedes-Benz Superdome to take on Matty Ice and the Atlanta Falcons. Give me Carolina in this game. I feel like the Panthers had a good season this year, and I feel like Cam Newton did very, very well last week against the Cowboys, and I feel like Carolina's going to get another win here and drop the Atlanta Falcons to 0-2 on the year and improve the Panthers to 2-0, but I would not be shocked to see an upset here and see Atlanta improve to 1-1 on the year and get a win. But I'm going to take the Panthers on the road to get a win over the Falcons. Next up, the San Diego Chargers heading in to Buffalo, New York, and New Era Field to take on now starting Josh Rosen and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take the Chargers on the road. I feel like Melvin Gordon's going to have a good week. Philip Rivers will improve after last week. And Keenan Allen will have a nice game. Antonio Gates will look good. And I feel like the Chargers defense will be good. Give me the road Chargers to get the win here over the Buffalo Bills on Saturday in a pretty good game. Next up, one of the best games of the weekend as the Minnesota Vikings head in to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. No word on if Aaron Rodgers is going to start in this game, but I'm pretty sure he will. Either way, I'm going to take the Vikings on the road. I feel like this defense for Minnesota is unbelievable. Dalvin Cook looked like he was back last week, and Case Keenum looked very good with Minnesota last weekend. So I'm going to take the Vikings on the road to get a win in Green Bay, with or without Aaron Rodgers. Next up, the Houston Texans heading in to Nissan Stadium to take on maybe Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Give me Deshaun Watson to bounce back this week after a tough week last week in New England. I feel like Deshaun Watson bounces back, and I feel like the Texans get the win over the Titans on Sunday in a pretty good game. Deshaun Watson, I feel like he's going to bounce back. DeAndre Hopkins will have a nice game. Give me the Texans on the road to get a win in Nashville and beat the Tennessee Titans. Next up, the Cleveland Browns heading in to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to take on Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Give me Drew Brees and the Saints to get a win here. I don't think the Browns are going to be putting up 48 points this week on that defense. I'm going to take the Saints at home to get a win over the Browns on Sunday in a pretty good game. I'll take the Saints at home to get the win over the Browns Sunday in a pretty good matchup. Next up, the Miami Dolphins heading in to MetLife Stadium to take on Sam Darnold and the New York Jets. I'm going to take the Jets at home. I feel like the Jets have a good team. They looked very good on Monday night against the Lions. And I feel like the Jets will find a way to get a win on Sunday at home against the Miami Dolphins in a pretty good high-scoring game. I'll take the Jets at home against the Dolphins. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Pittsburgh to take on Big Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still no Le'Veon Bell this week for the Steelers, but I don't think it's going to matter. I feel like Big Ben will have a better week. He turned the ball over a little bit too much last week in Cleveland, but I don't think that's going to happen this week. I will take the Steelers at home to get a win over the Chiefs. I think Mahomes is going to be a little bit shaky this week on the road, so give me the Steelers at home to get a win over the Chiefs on Sunday in a very good game. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts heading into Washington and FedEx Field to take on the Washington Redskins. Give me the Redskins at home. I feel like the Redskins have a good team this year. Better than I thought they would be this year. So I'm going to take the Redskins at home to get a win over the Colts. Even though Andrew Luck can make any game close, I'll take the Redskins at home in Landover to get a win this weekend. I'll take the Redskins at home. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals heading into LA and the Coliseum to take on Todd Gurley and Jared Goff in this very good LA Rams team. I told my friend Riley a couple days ago, be scared about this Rams team. So I feel like this Rams team could go undefeated this year. Give me the Rams at home to beat the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals let me down again last week. I thought they would get a win over the Redskins last week. It just wasn't meant to be. Sam Bradford does not look good. And I will take the home Rams to get a win over the Cardinals on Sunday in a very good matchup. Next up, the Detroit Lions heading into San Francisco and Levi Stadium to take on Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to take the Niners at home, even though people are saying Matthew Stafford's going to have a bounce-back game, and I believe that. I think Garoppolo's going to look good this week against a much easier defense than he had last week in Minnesota. So give me the home Niners to get the win here over the Lions. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go all over this defense. Give me the Niners at home. Next up, the Oakland Raiders heading in to Mile High to take on the Denver Broncos. I will take the Broncos at home here. I feel like Denver's got a very good team this year. They looked very good last week Case Keenum looked very good last week for the Broncos, and then Kirk Cousins actually looked good for the Redskins. My apologies. But I'm going to take the Broncos at home to get the win over the Raiders here. I feel like the Raiders looked good last week, but they just won't get that passing game going this week. I feel like the Broncos get the win here over the Raiders on Sunday in a very good matchup on Sunday afternoon. Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the New England Patriots, a rematch of the AFC Championship game. And the big question in this game is, will Leonard Fournette go? Right now he's slated as a game-time decision, and I hope he goes, and I think he will go. So I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the win here. New England's going to be shell-shocked with the weather this weekend in Jacksonville. So I'm going to take the Jags at home to get the win over New England in a very good matchup. I could also see Tom Brady pulling up this one off, but I'll take the Jags at home to get the win over the Patriots on Sunday. Next up, Sunday Night Football, one of the biggest rivalries in football, as the New York Giants head in to AT&T Stadium in Arlington to take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll take the Giants on the road here. I just didn't see enough from Dallas last week to make me want to pick him this week. Saquon Barkley looked good. Odell's looking good. Eli's looking good. And I feel like that defense will do just enough this week to get a win. Give me the road Giants on the road to get a win in Arlington against a pretty bland and boring Dallas Cowboys offense. So I'll take the Giants on the road. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks, led by Shaquem Griffin, who had a good week last week, head into Soldier Field in Chicago to take on Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears, coming off a heartbreaking loss last week to the Packers. And I feel like the Bears are going to bounce back this week. I'm going to take the Bears at home. That Seattle defense is just not good enough. I feel like Trubisky's going to have a nice week. And Russell Wilson could be sacked like 4 or 5 times this week. That offensive line is not good. And going against one of the best D lines in football, I'll take the Bears at home to get the win over the Seahawks. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Week in Sports City, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports right here on YouTube. Always like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports right here on YouTube. See you later, guys. Stay safe, North Carolina.